Hello to my friends at Dyersburg Primary School. My name is Vanessa Kane. I'm the Children's Director here at McIvers Grant Public Library, downtown, and I'm so happy to be sharing this book with you to go along with your unit, My Family, All Kinds of Family. And as you know, you've been studying how all families are different. There's no two families that are exactly the same, are there? Maybe you might want to talk to your teacher about her family today after we read about the teacher in this story. Or maybe you want to tell her a little bit about your family. That would be a fun thing to do today. The name of this book is All Families Are Special. And do you think that's true? I think that's true. All families are special. This book was written by Norma Simon. She's the author, so she wrote the words. And it's illustrated by Teresa Flavin. Teresa Flavin drew the pictures for this book. That makes her the illustrator. This book was published by Albert Whitman Company. Do you know what I found out today? Mrs. Mack, my teacher, is going to be a grandma. She told our class, "My daughter is having a baby, and I'll be the baby's grandmother, and I can hardly wait." All the kids were surprised. It's funny to think that teachers have families. Everyone is part of a family, Miss Mack said. Would you like to talk about your family? Hands shot up all over the room. There's Mrs. Mack telling her class about the exciting thing that's going to happen in her family. And there's all of her friends at school. And look at all their hands raised. They want to talk about their families too. Would you like to talk about your family today with your class? Mrs. Mack said, "Sarah, you begin." "Well," said Sarah, "there are 4 of us in my family. There's my mom and dad and me and my little sister Rachel. She's 4 years old. We adopted her from China when she was almost a year old. Mom and Dad and I flew to China over a huge ocean, miles and miles and miles away to bring Rachel home." And there is a picture of a map that shows the United States and China and all of that water. Miles and miles and miles and miles they had to fly to get there, her little sister, Rachel. On the plane ride home, Rachel walked up and down the aisle with me, holding my hands. Everybody smiled at us. We loved Rachel right away. You can love somebody in your family right away, can't you? Nick was waving his hand. "Let's see. There's Mama and Papa. There's Grandma and Grandpa. We have a new baby, Josh. I have 2 big sisters and 2 little brothers. Me, I'm right in the middle. That makes 10 people in one house. When my family orders pizzas, we need 3 super ones." 10 people. That's one big family, Miss Mack said. Let's look at this picture. And all of this family, we may count them, but do you see them eating pizza? Can you imagine having 10 people in your family? How many people are in your family? Let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people in their family. Families come in all sizes, don't they, said Miss Mack. Who has a small family? Matt raised his hand. My family is only 2 people, my dad and me. My mom died when I was 2 years old. We have lots of pictures of her. I like the wedding pictures best. She looks so beautiful in her long white dress, and there's one of Mom and me that I like too. So that's a small family. They've lost somebody, but they see how they still remember the person that they lost, and they talk about them, and they can still love them, can't they? Hannah, who's never shy, wanted her turn. I have 2 mommies, Michelle and Annie. In our family, we all ride bikes, all take hikes, and go camping. Michelle and Annie both have green thumbs. That means they know how to grow flowers and vegetables. I'm a good gardener, too. So that's something else that families do together, don't they? They do fun things on the weekend, like go camping and hiking, and they learn to do things together, like garden. All families do that. Grace was next. Our family has 3 people, she said, Mom and Dad and me. But my dad has to travel for work, so lots of times it's just Mom and me at home. I wish he had a different job. When my dad is someplace far away, he calls us before I go to sleep. He says, I miss you. Some nights he tells me something funny that happened and we both laugh. So sometimes we can't be right with our families in person all the time. Sometimes our families have to travel and be apart, but we can still be together by talking on the phone. Sometimes we can talk over the computer. We've learned that a lot this year, haven't we, that we can talk across the computer to still be together. So I think that's a good thing too, to remember that we support each other even when we're not together in the same house all the time. Then Jessica told about her family. Harry lives with us, my mom, my brother, and me. Harry's just like my dad, but he's not our real father. My real father moved away when I was still a baby, so I never knew him. My brother says he remembers him a little bit. But Harry's great. He taught me how to pitch, and he helps me with my math. We like a lot of the same books and movies. Yeah, I really like Harry. So sometimes the people in our lives and in our family are not somebody who has the same blood as us, you know? But that doesn't mean that they're not part of our family, does it? It was Juan's turn. My family is medium-sized, I guess. There's Mom and Dad and us kids. We moved into Grandma's house when she came home from the hospital. Grandma is much better now, but she still needs us to help her. I love Grandma's old house. It has a big porch and a big backyard. Dad lived there when he was growing up. Let's see. Grandma, Mom, Dad, me, my twin sisters, Jenny and Carla. That makes, I can't do it with my two, I'm holding my book. That makes 6 people in my family. We'll count those people in the book. How about that? I like how this family came together when somebody needed them. That was a nice thing, wasn't it, for them all to live together with Grandma in the house that the dad grew up in. So we've got Dad, 1, Mom, 2, twin sisters, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and his grandma 6. 6 people that live in that house. More than one generation in there, huh? Next, it was Salma's turn. My family lives in 2 places, she explained. Grandma and Grandpa live in Pakistan. Mom and Dad were born there. They came to the United States when my brother was just a baby. I was born here. Grandma and Grandpa come to visit us every year. Grandma shows me how to make Pakistani foods like samosas. Grandpa goes to watch my brother's Little League games. I wish they would stay in America, but they say they are too old to leave their home for good. We all cry a little when they go, and then can't wait until they come next time. So there is another map, and there is Pakistan right there. The yellow one right there is Pakistan. And there they are at the airport. And look at that picture at the airport. Do you think they're coming or going? Could be either, couldn't it? But it looks like they're smiling pretty good. I think it's when they're getting there, because they don't look like they're crying right now. Next, it was my turn. There's me, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my brother. There's our dog, Callie, too. We used to have a cat, Mama Cat, but she died last summer. Is it okay to say a cat and a dog are a part of your family, Miss Mack? Sure, Robert, Miss Mack said. Well, everyone in my family misses Mama Cat, and even Callie. I mean, even Callie does, I said. And there is his family. And there is his dog. There's Callie, and then that is Mama Cat. A little stone to help them remember Mama Cat. Our animals do become part of our families, don't they? Kevin told us I live with Grandma and Grandpa and Mom, but just on the weekends. When Mom comes, she sleeps in the bottom bunk in my bedroom. It used to be her room when she was growing up. I love it when I wake up and she is there. There's his mama. I have lots of aunts and uncles and cousins too. Then the whole family gets together like on Thanksgiving. It's a one big bunch of people. The day after Thanksgiving, I always go to the movies with all of my cousins. So we have lots of traditions that we do with our families, don't we? Do you have a tradition that you like to do with your family? Do you go to a family reunion, or do you have a football game, or do you go to the movies, or have Thanksgiving, do fun things for Christmas? In my family, Christopher told us, my mom and dad got divorced. My dad moved to an apartment, but we still live in our old house with Mom. My big brother and I keep most of our things in my house with Mom. And there they are at the house with their mother. But we have stuff at Dad's apartment too. We're usually over there a couple days a week. That's the way it is when you divorce. That is true, isn't it? Sometimes mommies and daddies don't live together. But that doesn't mean that they love us any less than... Emily raised her hand. I have 2 families too, she said. My mom and dad are divorced. Then last year, Dad got married again to Karen. She's not my mom, but she is really nice. She's my stepmom. Karen's kids are my stepbrother and stepsister. It took a long time until we all got used to living together. Now Mom is going to marry her boyfriend Tom. Tom's daughter Maria visits us on weekends, and we have a good time together. So that person has two different families, don't they? They've got a dad in one house and a mom in the other house, and then they have a stepmother and fixing to have a stepfather. All kinds of families, and we all love each other, don't we? After everyone had a turn, Mrs. Mack said, part of living in a family is sharing happy times and sad times. Can you think of some unhappy things that happen to families? Lots of hands went up. The kids talked about when somebody gets sick and the doctor says, this is serious. Or when a mom loses her job and she can't find a new one. Or when a mom and dad argue all the time and they decide to get a divorce. The children feel pulled back and forth between them. There's a doctor, isn't it? There's some sad things that happen in families, isn't it? We just love each other through them, don't we? When we talked about good things that happened in families, everybody had a lot to tell. About sending pictures to Grandpa and Grandma to put on the refrigerator door. About our family picnics and sending emails to cousins and going to stay with relatives who live far away and building a neat treehouse with a favorite uncle and feeling happy when everyone gets together on holidays. And there where they sent some pictures to their grandmother. There they've had family picnics and go to visit far away and building the treehouse with the uncle. What do you do that you like to do with your family? What are fun times that you've had with your family? You think of something right now? Mrs. Mack told us, when there are bad times, families help each other feel better. And when there are good times, families enjoy each other. So there we have a picture of somebody hugging somebody when they're sad. We can do that for our families, can't we? And then we have a picture of a new puppy and everybody's excited, and that's a fun thing that happened together. The different people in our families all fit together like pieces in a puzzle, and you are a very important piece of that picture. There's all those families. Different families look different. All love each other. No families are the same. All families are definitely special. I like that book. I like how it talks about the ways we can support our family when it's sad times, and I like how it talks about the fun things we do together that make us closer. I hope you've enjoyed these books today on your families and all kinds of families. I hope you're enjoying the unit, that you're learning all the wonderful things about families with your teachers and your classmates. I hope you're good today for your teachers, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next week.